evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a new edition of your program Newsroom Live. In today's edition, we will cover, or it will be special coverage on Egypt's foreign policy top files. Lamia Abdel Sattar, stay tuned. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi reiterated Egypt's firm stance on settling different regional crises by peaceful means. He warned against the economic repercussions of a prolonged regional war on prices in general and on energy and maritime navigation in particular. The president made these remarks in a meeting with the chief of the World Bank Group, Ajay Banga, saying that Egypt lost $10 billion of the Suez Canal revenues during the Gaza war. We have the details.
President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi warned on Monday of the economic consequences of ongoing regional tensions as the U.S.-Israeli conflict with Iran enters its third day. During a meeting in Cairo with World Bank Group, President Ajay Banga, President al-Sisi stated that the continuation of the war could drive up prices, increase energy costs, disrupt Red Sea navigation, and impact the security and stability of the region as well as the well-being of its people. He noted that the Israeli war in Gaza has cost Egypt about $10 billion in lost Suez Canal revenues over the past 2 years, according to a presidential statement. President al-Sisi also highlighted the economic strain of hosting an estimated 10.5 million foreign nationals who have fled conflicts in neighboring countries, noting that they receive public services similar to those of the Egyptian citizens without matching international financial support. The president briefed Banga on Egypt's efforts to contain current regional tensions, stressing Cairo's firm stance calling for resolving crisis through peaceful means. President al-Sisi and Banga also discussed the strategic partnership between Egypt and the World Bank, with President al-Sisi praising the bank's backing of national efforts towards sustainable development and ongoing economic reform programs. He outlined steps the government has taken to strengthen the economy amid international and regional challenges, including collaboration with the International Monetary Fund to restore stability, control the state budget, curb inflation and public debt, and expand the private sector's role in growth and investment. For his part, Banga expressed appreciation for decades of cooperation with Egypt and praised ongoing coordination on development projects in social protection, health, food security and climate change. He also commended Egypt's efforts to attract foreign investment and stimulate economic growth.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. To shed more light on this issue, we're delighted to be joined over the phone by Dr. Youmn Hamaki, Professor of Economics at Ain Shams University. Good evening, Doctor.
Good evening.
Thank you for joining us. During his meeting with the chief of the World Bank Group, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi warned against the economic repercussions of a prolonged regional war on prices in general and on energy and maritime navigation in particular. So how will the Iranian crisis affect the oil and gas prices?
Actually, we have seen that, oil and gas prices had increased substantially since the war started, and this is having great repercussions on the world economy, since we have been witnessing, great efforts to contain inflation related to increasing cost of production, and by returning back the cost of oil and gas to increase, this will return back, increasing cost of production and then inflation. From here it comes that this is jeopardizing efforts done towards containing inflation during the last period. And for Egypt, actually, this is going to have a negative repercussions on the performance, the economic performance, since we are nowadays importing more what we are exporting of oil and gas. And here the balance of trade in oil and gas is deficit, and This means that the burden of importing for Egypt is going to increase, affecting seriously the cost of production from one perspective, from another, the balance of the need for more dollars, and this is having its impact on the exchange rate stabilization.
So, Dr. Youmn, how can the Egyptian economy adapt to the negative effects of the conflict?
Actually, what we need to concentrate on is using all our capabilities to enhance investment, and such investment that is directed actually to export, which is returning the economy into export-led, tendency towards using our resources efficiently. And as according to our studies as economists, the Egyptian economy is full of capabilities regarding several industries that need to be activated, like ready-made clothes, like food industry, like electronic products. Even we have a lot of potentialities in information technology. Outsourcing may play a significant role. So actually what we need to concentrate on, how to enhance our capabilities and unexploited resources towards the capabilities of the Egyptian productive capacity. And I believe that this can be done by activating unexploited resources in the field of small and medium enterprises, in the field of enhancing the capabilities of public sector companies by attracting, private-public partnership in these companies to use their resources. So a lot of things can be done actually during this period for addressing such crisis from one perspective, and from enhancing the resilience of the economy to address any crisis in the future.
So in your opinion, Doctor, what are the economic repercussions of the closure of Hormuz Strait?
This is, enhancing, the tendency towards increasing prices, since 20% of oil transmitted from Hormuz. And this is the meaning that the delays of this transportation may affect, the prices of oil, and this is what has been translated on prices of oil by 9%. This is a significant increase, and I believe that because only of large amount of production, it could increase more than that, and this is what we have seen by the declare of OPEC, that they are going to increase the production capacity. These actions are quite important, not to have the tendency of increasing of the price of oil towards a prediction of $100 per barrel, and we have to exert more efforts towards, not achieving such high increase of oil.
Concerning the stock market, Doctor, what are the effects of the Iranian conflict on the Egyptian stock market?
This, not only the Egyptian stock market, but all, the area, Middle East, the Gulf countries, and Egyptian stock market, we witness a tendency decline and in our stock markets, and this is quite natural because when you have an area of risk and risk management, I believe that this could be a very natural implication of such disturbance and uncertainty. Despite that, the stock markets of all Gulf and Egyptian stock market had been doing very well during the last period. Unfortunately, this war is going to affect us seriously negative.
Doctor, are we expecting a global wave of inflation due to the current crisis?
Of course, when the prices of oil is increasing, this is going to be naturally reflected on higher inflation, since the oil is representing from 20 to 30% of cost of production for the product, and I believe that this is going to be translated into higher inflation.
So how would the current crisis affect the foreign currency prices in the world markets in general and in Egypt in particular?
In Egypt, the fear is regarding the hot money, because, you know, in the case of uncertainty, a large amount of hot money may be withdrawn from the stock market, and this is affecting the supply and demand of foreign currency, and we witnessed a decrease in the value of Egyptian pound during the last period due to this reason. I believe that hopefully that the situation will be returning back into stabilization, so that you know, we shouldn't rely to our reserves in order to protect our Egyptian pound, since we mentioned as a central bank, the monetary policy is going to be flexible, which means that letting supply and demand specifying the price of our currency.
Dr. President Sisi told the chief of the World Bank Group that Egypt lost $10 billion of the Suez Canal revenues during the Gaza war. What are your expectations for the current crisis and its effects on the Suez Canal?
We expect to again to lose, you know, the source of Suez Canal, since the maritime in Suez Canal and in the area, generally speaking, since service is going to be closed, I believe that this is going to affect seriously Suez Canal revenue, and we are going to return back to a decrease in Suez Canal revenue. But from my point of view, the maximum of the resources from Suez Canal rise to $10 billion. This is the maximum, from $10 to $11 billion. I believe that Egypt is having a lot of capabilities to compensate that if we concentrate on export-led growth, like I mentioned before, and we have a lot of capabilities to enhance our industrial sector in different industries and to enhance its competitiveness for exportation. I believe that this could be the very important way to support and to build the resilience of the Egyptian economy.
So, Doctor, how can Egypt coordinate with the regional powers to reduce the economic... It seems we lost contact with Dr. Youmn Al-Hamaki. Thank you so much, Doctor, the Professor of Economics at Ain Shams University, for your information and insight. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll have a short break and we'll be right back. Welcome back. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi conducted a phone call with Sultan of Oman Haytham bin Tariq. Presidential spokesman Mohammed Ishnawi said that the call discussed the military escalation in the Middle East. He said that during the call, Sisi condemned the targeting of the Duqm port. Sisi also stressed the stance calling for prioritizing dialogue and peaceful means to settle regional crises. He warned of the dangerous repercussions that he said could slip the region into a state of chaos. He also expressed appreciation to the mediation role Oman plays between Iran and the United States with regards to the nuclear file. For his part, the Sultan of Oman said he values Cairo's stance in support of settling crises through political means. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi attended the annual iftar banquet hosted by the armed forces, coinciding with the celebrations of the anniversary of the 10th of Ramadan victories. The banquet was attended by Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli, a number of ministers and a number of state officials. We have the details.
President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi issued a stark warning regarding escalating regional conflict, noting that continued instability and the potential closure of the Strait of Hormuz could further cripple global economy flows and maritime trade. The President spoke at the Armed Forces Annual Iftar marking the 10th of Ramadan victories. Attendees included Councillor Hisham Badawi, Speaker of the House of Representatives, Councillor Sam Farid, President of the Senate, Dr. Mustafa Madbouli, Prime Minister, Lieutenant General Ashraf Salim Zahir, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces and Minister of Defense and Military Production, and Lieutenant General Ahmed Khalifa, Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces. President al-Sisi emphasized that modern warfare inevitability inflicts negative consequences on both combatant nations and their neighbors, particularly as combat technologies evolve. He noted that miscalculations in these conflicts result in severe repercussions for regional balance, extending beyond humanitarian concerns to fundamental state stability. As a stakeholder in regional security, President al-Sisi confirmed he has held discussions with Gulf and Arab counterparts to reiterate Egypt's rejection of any aggression against sovereign states and to affirm support for allies facing these crises. The President said Egypt has faced significant material losses since October 7th, as navigation in the Suez Canal has yet to return to its normal patterns. He emphasized that the state must now prepare for all possibilities and scenarios, particularly the risk of a total blockade at the Strait of Hormuz. Linking foreign policy to internal stability, the head of state attributed Egypt's ability to withstand the perfect storm of the COVID-19 pandemic, the war in Ukraine, and the Gaza-Iran escalation to the endurance of the Egyptian people. He concluded by urging national unity, framing the current geopolitical climate as a series of challenges largely beyond state control, but manageable through strategic patience.